Hey guys, what's up? This is White Boy for the win, and welcome back to Why Mega Evolved. Now, earlier last week we talked about Primal Pokemon, and today we're going to be talking about Mega Giratina. But before we get started, let me just give you guys a brief explanation of what this series is about. Now, every week we'll be picking two Pokemon that either need a Mega Evolution, deserve a Mega Evolution, or want a Mega Evolution for. Now, this is based off my opinion alone, and no one else's. Now, if you guys do not like my opinion, then please post your opinions in the comment section down below about what would you keep, what would you change, and etc. And at the end of the video, I will be telling you guys which Pokemon we're going to be talking about the following day. So with that said, here is Mega Giratina. Now before we get started, I do have to apologize if you guys hear any static in the background. That is my fan, and also if I'm talking a little bit quiet or just softer. It's literally almost 3 o'clock in the morning, so I do apologize considering that I am recording back to back right after my my Primal Pokemon video, and now I'm recording my Mega Giratina video, so I'm sorry if like I'm a little bit quiet or there's any static in the background. So like I said, I do apologize, but nonetheless, I really hope you guys enjoyed that Primal Giratina video that I uploaded on Saturday. I'm sorry if I keep saying Primal and Mega. I keep getting them confused. Like this is a Why Mega Evolved series. Like I want to talk about Megas, like, and Primals are kind of like some sort of a Mega Evolution, so I will get those mixed up from time to time if I do any more Primals, which I am considering of doing in the future. But nonetheless, today we're going to be talking about Mega Giratina. Now obviously Mega Giratina is most likely going to happen, considering that we the next like games to be getting a remake is most likely either Sinnoh or like the Kanto region and maybe the Unova region, but I actually see Sinnoh getting a remake next, considering that technically those are technically like the only games that really never had a remake. But I wouldn't count the Unova region like to have a remake yet, considering it's like it's new but not new at the same time, so it's not like it really needs a remake of it yet. It's just too soon right now, too soon to have a remake of those games. But nonetheless, like I said, I have a feeling that we most likely will be getting a remake of the Sinnoh games, so that means that we're probably going to be getting like a Mega Giratina and probably like either Primal and or Mega Palkia and Dialga. So I wanted to talk about those three for like the next couple of videos, and now that we're talking about Giratina, I actually hope to actually see this happening. Now the picture that I'm using for the Mega Giratina, I am not a big fan of. This is pretty much like one of the only pictures I can find that would work with my photo maker. That was pretty much like a Mega Giratina design, so I do apologize if it's not like up to your expectations. But nonetheless, as you can tell from what I've done to its stats, I did increase everything but its speed. Now the reason why I didn't increase its speed was just that it didn't need to get increased. The original, I'm just gonna call it original, like the original Giratina is supposed to be made for like bulky hits and supposed to be able to take hits, so raising its speed would pretty much be, I wouldn't say useless, but it would have been a waste to just distribute some of its points into its speed. So leaving it at base 90 is actually okay. Now as you can tell, I actually made Giratina's stats pretty much the exact same across the board, except its speed. For both of its attacks, I increased it from base 100 to base 135, and its defenses from base 120 to base 135. I want to actually put their stats like literally even across the board, considering that the original Giratina is supposed to be made for bulkiness, so it's not really made for being like an offensive attacker. But now that it's actually given it the Mega, and I've given some points distributed into both of its attack to base 135, this thing will be able to take up hits, set up Calm Minds and stuff like that. And I think it does get Calm Mind, and it's just pretty much just sweet from there, considering that you can go either physical and or special, but most of the time you probably are going to be going special. So you can run like Shadow Ball, Draco Meteor, and those two moves will be stabbed, considering that Mega Giratina and Giratina are Ghost Dragon, so those will be stabbed. So that's the one thing I wanted to go for, is that I wanted Giratina to be a bulky Pokemon while also dealing damage to you, a little bit more damage to you over time, rather than just like toxic stalling. Because I saw a set on Smogon that there's a toxic stall set for Giratina, considering that Giratina is a stally Pokemon and I don't really like stall, so that's partially the reason why I've given it like a lot of an increase into both of its attacks. That way it doesn't just sit there and just protect stall you the whole time. So that's pretty much, like I said, partially the reason why it's at base 135. But with base 135 stats across the board, except for its speed, this thing is just going to be a bulky Pokemon and also an offensive attacker. It's pretty much killing two birds with one stone, having the defenses and also having the like a physical power and also the special power to deal damage while also taking hits as well. Now for its base stat, obviously it's going to be at 680 because that's what the origin form for Giratina was, and also it is a legendary, so most legendary stats are at 680, and with the Mega Evolution obviously going to be at 780. Now, for its ability, I gave it a new ability, and like I said, for pretty much all three of the Primal Evolution videos that I've done, I kind of wanted to correspond an ability that goes with like the Pokemon, like how Dialga is the ruler of time. So I gave it an ability that corresponds with like time. Same thing for Palkia and the origin form for Giratina. But since we're talking about Mega Giratina, I gave it a new ability called Distortion Weather. Now, what Distortion Weather pretty much does is that it pretty much flips the weather. So for instance, like Kyogre and Groudon, they automatically set up the sun and or the rain. Now if you actually send out like Giratina and Mega Evolve and the sun's out, it'll switch to rain. So I hope that makes sense. So like for instance, I already made an instance, but like for instance, if your opponent sends out a Groudon and sets up the sun, and then you Mega Evolve with your Giratina, the weather will switch from sun to rain, and then from rain to sun, and then from like hail to sandstorm, and sandstorm to hail, vice versa. It will just pretty much just flip the weathers, because that's what I actually envisioned its ability to be. Now obviously, like I said in most of my videos, that there's probably a better abilities that you can actually give most of the Pokemon I already done for a Mega Evolution video. But if you have a better ability, let me know, because this is probably one of the I wouldn't say this is an OP ability, but it actually will actually come in handy if you do decide to go with like an Uber team or something like that, considering that it will like mess up your opponent's strategy to an extent if they're using like a weather team. So like if there's like a special like tournament going on, then you can go with like, and you have to use like 2 legendaries and then like the rest like 4 Pokemon like at random, and you decide to go with like a Mega Giratina, you can actually use that and flip your opponent's weather. So like if your opponent sends out a Charizard Mega Evolve to Charizard Y, you get the sun up, and you Mega Evolve with your Giratina and the Distortion Weather activates, it'll actually turn to drizzle or rain, whatever you want to call it. So I think this is a pretty like OP ability, but at the same time it's not. It just messes with your opponent's strategy. So that's what I'm actually trying to go for, is just to mess up your opponent's strategy. Now for its typing, I left it as Ghost Dragon. Like I said, it's an amazing typing. It's pretty much the only Pokemon I believe off the top of my head that has the Ghost Dragon typing. So I do love the typing for Giratina, Mega Giratina, and Primal Giratina, regardless of what you call it. So I just left it alone. But with that, there is Mega Giratina. So anyways guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, and also don't forget to comment and subscribe. Now on Friday, I'm actually going to be talking about pretty much the Sinnoh legendaries, and we're going to be talking about Mega Cresselia. I've been wanting to actually talk about Mega Cresselia for a while, and I decided, like, you know what, we're talking about the Sinnoh legendaries, Giratina, Palkia, and Dialga, so why not just continue this route, I would say, and talk about more Sinnoh legends, because there's a lot of legendary Pokemon in the Sinnoh region. You got the 3 Lake Guardians, you got the 3 legendaries, Giratina, Dialga, and Palkia. You got Heatran, Cresselia, Darkrai, Shaman. There's just a lot of just Sinnoh legendary, so I really want to talk about most of them. I probably will talk about all of them. I don't know yet, but the next one we are going to be talking about is Cresselia, so stay tuned for that on Friday. So like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, and also don't forget to comment and subscribe. So this is White Boy for the win, and I'll catch you guys later.